Hello and welcome back to another video. So as you can see from the title, I'm going to be upcycling my IKEA drawer set that I have got here. Now what I'll try and do is attach a link or a photo somewhere of what the IKEA drawers are that I have got here. And before I actually get into it, I'd just like to put a disclaimer out there that I am by no means an expert or a professional in doing this at all. I mean, this is my first upcycle, so I just thought it'd be fun to film how I transform this into something new. So the things I will be using to upcycle these drawers are firstly a sander. I have also got sanding block, sanding paper, whatever it is that's going to really sort of take that first layer of the drawers off. And then depending on how you want to upcycle your drawers, furniture, whatever it is, I have also got some wood trim here that I'm going to put onto the drawers. And if you're going to cut this yourself, I'd probably recommend using what I've got down here, a mitre block and a saw, which is how I originally started to chop this, or you can just use a chop saw, which is what I'm going to do to make this a little bit smaller. But yeah, and then you will need some, it's up to you, whatever adhesive you want to use. I mean, you can use wood glue, but I'm just going to be using the No More Nails glue to stick down the wood. And then I'm going in with some cork to go around the edges. I'll obviously explain it as we get into the video, but these are just things that I am using. Obviously a pencil, and depending on whereabouts you are going to put the trim on the drawers, you'll need some sort of measuring device, tape measure, whatever, and a pencil to draw that on. And then the most important part, the paint. Now this is a self-priming paint, so I'm not actually going to be using a primer before I put this on. So if you are going to be using some sort of paint that's not got the sort of self-priming ingredients in it, I don't really know what you call it, products or whatever, then please do get a primer as well. But I thought I would give this French Chic paint a go. And then obviously paintbrush, and I'm going to be using a paint roller as well. So just trying to think if there's anything else. I think that is pretty much everything. The only other thing I'm going to need is a screw gun to be able to screw some holes in there as well, but I'll be using some of Sam's equipment for that. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy watching the rest of this video. Please just take what you want from it. Like I said, I'm not a professional or an expert in any way. I just thought it'd be fun to film transforming these set of drawers.
First of all, I went in with a sander just to take that top layer of the laminate material off. And I just wanted to make sure that I went over it ever so lightly so I didn't damage it. And then I went round with the sandblock to go around the edges, and then I wiped it all down with a damp cloth to make sure that there wasn't any residue of dust. Moving on to the measuring of the drawers. Now if you're having wood trim on the edges, then you won't need to do this part, but I decided to bring the wood trim in roughly around 10mm. So I'm just measuring up for that so I can have a guide as to where the wood is going to go. And then I actually cut the wood down with a mitre block and a saw, but decided that because I wanted to bring the wood in slightly, I remeasured it and went in with the chop saw in the end, just to make the process a little bit quicker, so I could get it down to the perfect size for the mitered edges. And then that is how it looked before I ended up gluing it. And then I used the No Nails glue to stick the wood down, and then went around the edges with cork to stick it all together.
the furniture, I thought I'd just go over the colour that I decided to go for the paint, for anyone that's interested and may like the colour that this ends up being. Like I said earlier, I decided to go with the friendship paint because it's self-priming, very easy to use, and loads of the sort of reviews and all the pictures that I've seen across their social media look really, really good. So I've decided to go for the colour After Midnight in the Al Fresco range. Now, I weren't 100% sure on which range to go for. A lot of the ranges seem to do a similar thing. This is weatherproof, and you can use it with both inside and outside furniture. But it was mainly the colour that I was after, and the colours you can't get in the other ranges, if that makes sense. But I'll stop rambling on anyway and just show you how this colour turns out.
Just to briefly go over the paint, it took 4 coats to get the desired look that I was going for, and I made sure to really sand it down in between each coat of paint. And I started off using a roller, which you can see here, on all of the main bits, but after the first coat I didn't really like the look of it, so I decided to continue going in with the brush, which you can see here, for the rest of the coats that I ended up doing. Now, you've really got to trust the process, because to start with it looks so patchy and awful, but in the end it really turned out lovely, and the finish of the drawers as well was really nice.
Finished the drawers, and I am really pleased at how they've turned out. Now, in total I have roughly spent around £60 on upcycling the drawers, and that includes the wood trim, the paint, the glue, the handles, the lot. So I really don't think that's too bad at all. So yeah, it was a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's my first time that I've upcycled any drawers whatsoever, and I've now got to do another set of these drawers, but I am really pleased with how it's turned out. Absolutely love the colour, the handles, everything. What I will do is tag below everything that I've used in this video, in case you are looking for any of these products at all. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.